Back for the Palmetto Tigers. Number 3, Steve Kraft. Next up for the Palmetto Tigers, number 48, L. Cruz.
Get it. Go to the base. She ain't to the base. Calling her safe. He ain't even there.
I was like, man, she was
Next at bat, number 5, Steve Cook.
Hello everyone guys, my name is Xavier Asensio and welcome back to another fantastic broadcast between the Southeast Television and this fantastic game. I'm your host Xavier Asensio.
And I'm Alex Aguilar.
And we're watching this fantastic showdown between the Southeast Seminoles versus the Palmetto Tigers. Currently, and again, we apologize for the technical difficulties and welcome to the game guys. Really quickly, if you guys would like to like and subscribe really quick before we begin, please do so. Helps out our channel a lot, and you're helping support the people here that are taking their time out of the day to be here. Currently, for those of you guys that are just tuning in, the game is currently against the Southeast Seminoles and the Palmetto Tigers. Alex, how do you think this game's going to turn out so far?
I think Southeast has a really good chance of getting a victory out of this match. We've already seen since the game begun that Southeast is looking really strong compared to their last games as well.
Right, and and from both teams too. Like Seminoles are really upping their game this time, and also they're doing really good with their offense and their defense. And I can tell they've significantly improved from their last mistakes that they made against St. Petersburg. So I'm very excited to not hear, but necessarily see these results.
Me too. Palmetto looks strong as well too in this opening of the match, so I'm excited to see how this would turn out.
100%, Alex, 100%. And currently, for those of you guys that are tuning in, let's talk about our pitching numbers here. From the Southeast Seminoles, number 11, Shreya Butzler is going to be our primary pitcher, and currently, right now, that's batting for the Palmetto Tigers is number 4. Number 4, we're just getting the score numbers here. Number 4 is S. Damon. And currently right now the score is the second run of the game. And currently the Palmetto Tigers are 2-0 to being the Palmetto Tigers and 0 being the Southeast Seminoles. However, right now I think that score number could change at any point because it's the very beginning of the first inning, and also we haven't had a single change of position yet.
As well, I'm pretty sure Southeast already has 2 outs, meaning they only need 1 more so they can start on the offense.
Yeah, Alex, and that's it. That's an out.
That is the 3rd out. Southeast will now be on the offense.
And that's the first change of position for not for the that, but that's the first part of the inning for the game. So Alex, what are your initial comments on just seeing that little glimpse and sneak peek of the game? What are your thoughts on this so far?
Southeast looks really promising in this match. I can definitely see them winning. And Palmetto as well looks amazingly. So this is definitely a match that I am anxious to see. But I would say that Southeast looks strong. We'll see how they look on the offense.
Yeah, we need to see how they look on the offense because now that from Palmetto's perspective and point of view, Palmetto has really good batting. Their team composition is all around really strong. But I believe that the Southeast Seminoles, the offense is going to be really good considering how fast you just got the first inning completed. I really think that the Southeast is going to bring a lot of promise to the table and really allow the Palmettos to run a buck for their money.
I agree. I completely agree. Looks like number 6 for Southeast would be the first to bat.
Number 6 being Ava C.
And first at bat for Southeast, number 6.
All right, Ava Gisler is going to be batting up for the Southeast Seminoles, number 6. Alex, how do you think Ava is going to perform here in the first end of the inning here?
I definitely think she's going to perform extraordinarily well. I am excited to see how far she can actually hit the ball, and I would love to see a point got here by Southeast.
Honestly, and even though they right here too, I'm quite curious to see their defense here because I just like to see what they're capable of pulling off here, and I just want to see what number 6 here is capable of.
There it is.
Yes, definitely. This is also good for both teams. Even though it's early on the match, we can see how Palmetto is going to defend and how Southeast is planning on the offense, how to
100%.
score.
Right, and Palmetto is already. Ooh,
Beautiful
and that's a
hit.
hit. That's a hit for number 6.
And
She makes it to first base. Amazing hit by Ava.
And that successfully turns her over to first base, and now we got number 13 on the plate. Honestly, I think that just this position by itself, I think that Southeast is really going to have a much easier time getting into these points and actually applying that early pressure and actually getting that stronghold offense against Palmetto, because as long as they rack up those early game points, it could literally make the difference between you winning that game and you losing that game. So it's really good seeing that the Southeast Seminoles are not only putting in this insane level of effort, but it's insane how Palmetto is already like staggering a little bit here in terms of their pitching, even though that they're really good.
Looks like
Number
Ava's
6 is
going
running.
for the second base.
I believe number 6 is safe because they fumbled the ball. No, I fumbled. Yep, she's safe. She's good.
Save. Made it to second base halfway.
All right, and the Southeast Seminoles are making it to third base and to first base successfully. Actually, not first base. Number 6 successfully makes it to third base. To base 3. So potentially Southeast can actually get their first point against, making it 1-2 for the Southeast Seminoles here. This is actually a really good like early leading position for the Noles. Ooh.
And a hit has been made by Southeast. It is dropped. Now Southeast has 2 players currently on the field, 1 on first base and 1 on the third base.
And Alex, if I'd like to add on to this too, I really feel like right now, like Southeast is doing really good with their early game pressure. Even though I apologize. Even though Palmetto is doing really good on their pitching and their overall having like that fast speed that they need, Southeast is actually responding and counteracting this really well by getting already almost 3 players onto the actual court and actually just getting that early pressure that they need. Because like I said earlier, softball is all about getting that early pressure and then keeping that level consistent, because if you can keep the points, you can keep the win.
Definitely, I agree. Consistency is really big in this sport, in most sports actually. And definitely, if Southeast keeps this up, I can definitely see a win.
Yeah, and even then, like number 7, Kaylin Poole, she's even seen that like the ball, like they're commonly throwing the ball under and just letting it roll on the ground, and she's seeing that and taking that as an opportunity to not strike, and she can get an easy walk to third. I apologize, to first base here with another player. I can't see the number here, but point being, like she could walk to first base, but because of her catching these like plays, and that's going to benefit Southeast as a whole, not just her as a player, but the whole team composition.
Definitely.
And that's a hit for
amazing
Kaylin
hit.
Poole.
This is going to be a point for Southeast and 2 players on the field.
And now it's 2-1 by Ava G. And Kaylin Poole, number 7, successfully makes it to first base. And now we got number 8 at second base. Honestly, this is really good. Don't you agree, Alex?
Definitely. This is one of the best performances I've seen from Southeast. Hopefully they can keep this throughout the whole game.
100%, Alex. I can't agree with you more. Ooh. Yeah, Alex, something I'm catching here with the Palmetto Tigers is that they have like a certain pattern. Don't you agree that they have like a certain pattern of pitching? Like they're either going to pitch low, it's going to either roll into the ground, or it's going to pitch directly in the sweet spot where the Noles need to hit and bat correctly to get like those hits that number 6 hit and number 7 Kaylin Poole hit. Like that, for example.
Exactly. We just saw exactly the same hit that you just described.
And that's another hit successfully by the Southeast Seminoles.
It did go out, unfortunately, though.
Oh, actually, I apologize. That is a foul ball. Even though it was a successful hit, it was still a foul ball. However, even though they're getting these foul balls, it is still a great thing that they're able to actually hit, actually land shots and actually get these balls out towards the field, making it harder to defend and getting those easy points. And it's really good on Southeast's end and making it harder for Palmetto to actually come back, giving us a game. And that's another foul ball. Honestly, Alex, I think what's happening here is that she's hitting the ball. I feel like she's hitting it too close to the bat. Don't you agree? Like when you're hitting it, I feel like there should be like a certain tip that you should be touching the ball at, and it should be like hitting it at a certain like direction. Wouldn't you agree about that?
Definitely, definitely. I think you really need to find that sweet spot to hit it. As well, I've noticed that all the balls are going to the left, meaning she might want to change it, as Palmetto might be reading that play already.
And that is the second out with next at bat being number 12, Zada House.
All right, so let's see what Southeast is going to pull off here. And that's a strike. And that's another foul ball, just hitting the gate. Thankfully, we do have a gate, right, Alex?
Yeah, now that would be going straight at us.
Straight at us, and we would not want that.
No, we would not.
All right, but currently, for those of you guys who are just tuning in right now, currently the score is 1-2, 1 being the Southeast Seminoles and 2 being the Palmetto Tigers. And actually, that is successfully an out by the Palmetto Tigers. Now changing position.
Now Palmetto will go on the offense, and Southeast will go on the defense. But I am not too worried yet, as Southeast look really, really good in their defense.
Honestly, I honestly feel like that the Southeast Seminoles, compared to the last games, like right now, the Noles have significantly improved. They've clearly watched their mistakes that they've made. They've clearly watched the things that they've gotten wrong, and they've reflected on that, not only as just individual players, but as a team. They've reflected on how they can improve, and it's clearly showing because they're giving, they're putting like Palmetto's money where their mouth is, and also making it harder for Palmetto to just simply win. They're putting up a fight, and they're really trying to get this win, and we can both clearly tell from up here in the press box, and just as a whole, Southeast is doing really, really good.
Yes, they seem prepared for this. They seem that they're ready, that they really want this. They really look like they want this win today.
Exactly. And those of you that are just tuning in as well, it is currently 1-2, 1 being the Southeast Seminoles and 2 being the Palmetto Tigers. However, that score could easily change since it's just now the second inning. And currently, the Southeast Seminoles are going to be pitching and are going to be on field, and the Palmetto Tigers are going to be striking. And also, guys, if you guys are just now tuning in, if you guys would like to leave a like and subscribe, it would not only help out the Southeast television program here at Southeast High School, but by just you even subscribing and you even dropping a like, it not only helps out the club, it helps out the people here that are dedicating their time out of their day to be here, and overall, you're helping out the kids here like me or Alex to get this support that we need and get these type of commentaries and videos out in the internet. And it's free too, and you can unsubscribe at any time. All right, it seems here that I'm trying to get a view here. Number 88 from
First at bat, number 88.
Van Doricati is going to be batting for the Palmetto Tigers here in the second inning of this game. And that's a hit. Ooh.
Unfortunate bounce.
And number 88
She
makes it
successfully
to
makes it
the
to
first
with
base.
next at bat being number 2, X Payton.
All right, so X Payton, number 2, is now going to be batting for the Palmetto Tigers. However, from my perspective here, I feel like I can't see this from here, but number 8 from the Knolls, I think that her pitching is really good here. And honestly, I feel like
And Palmetto successfully steals second.
no, actually, I apologize. That's number 11. But number 11 here has really good pitching. But from last game, I think that she's improved from the mistakes that was being made. Like, for example, fighting that consistent range and that speed, too, like that. I think that they've obviously improved on that. And also, I can clearly tell the different, like, throwing speed that they've improved on. And overall, I think that Southeast right now is doing good. They just need to strike them out.
Definitely. It looks like now Palmetto has stolen the third base.
How are you?
Just talk about like the game as well, like whatever.
There it is.
And a successful catch.
Pitch 11.
Talk about like the game right now, like what's happening, like the pitching, like for example, like number 2 successfully walked on at first base. Talk about that.
And next at bat, number 27.
Number 2 has now achieved first base, meaning Palmetto now has 2 players on the field currently, with number 27 getting ready to bat.
And number 2 successfully makes it to second base. All right, so seems like from the third base here, seems like they're about to score another point, potentially making it 1-3. Ooh. Can they strike her out? Nope, she is safe.
not.
And now the score is
And
1-3.
she successfully steals home, bringing the score
1-3,
3-1.
favoring Palmetto
Palmetto
with
favored.
a player on third base.
Honestly, right now, in my opinion, I feel like the score is a little bit subjective in the first 3 innings because, for one, the game can change at any point in time. 2, the favor and the tables can be turned at any point. Meaning, like right now, like they could get striked out very easily, and then a change of position could occur, and then it could be the second half inning, and then the points could be favored in us. So I feel like right now, even though we're technically losing, I feel like we've got the technical advantage. We've got the strategy implemented. Don't you agree, Alex?
Yes, 100%. I completely see that. I completely see how this match could definitely end with that saying. And a Palmetto player has now reached the first base.
And honestly, I feel like because each team has only so many players, I feel like during the game, if they are able to play long enough, because there is no way that a mercy roll is going to occur, because obviously Southeast is doing really good right now.
And
So,
Palmetto successfully steals home, bringing the score 4-1.
so like right now, like I feel like it's because the game might go on long enough, they might be able to see how some of the players might play. Like for example, how do they bat? Where are their weak points? If they're able to read them that well based off of how they bat and how they react. Like, for example, I feel like that ball right there from number 11, that was a little bit too slow. And compared to Palmetto Tigers' pitching, I feel like they could throw, like, a little bit, like with force. So if they can do that, I feel like that would be good. Like that right there. That'd be perfect. Don't you agree, Alex?
Definitely, yeah. Pretty sure they're at 1 strike now, meaning 2 more strikes for the outs. And though you mentioned the slow pitch, but it worked out. They got the out in that case.
Right.
And next at bat,
Right, Alex. And matter of fact,
3,
I'm even willing to compromise and agree with you with that fact because they are getting these strikes out and they are getting these free walk-ins as well. However, and apparently, we're getting a timeout here from the Southeast Seminoles here. Please make sure to tune back on in here in a moment, and please enjoy these few messages from our sponsors.
And Southeast is declaring a timeout, that of which being sponsored by Kona.
The timeout has now concluded. Now Palmetto will continue batting as number 3 is about to bat.
And honestly here too, with the Southeast Seminoles, I feel like right now both teams are, in the perspective of varsity softball, both teams are not only giving it their all, but right now I feel like both teams have some sort of advantage. Like it's even game right now. Like Palmetto may have the points advantage, but Southeast has got the technical advantage, which meaning that can end in their favor.
That is a hit now for Palmetto. Number 3 reaches first base.
And even then, even though they made it to first base, I feel like they could easily, like something I'm noticing here with Palmetto is that they're like right now with number 3, the person who just got into first base, if you pay attention and look towards her, she's already getting ready to run. So I feel like if the pitcher were to pay attention, not as a rude thing, but like if she paid attention to like that, I feel like they could easily strike her out. Like right there, if she would have turned back quickly and then thrown the ball to Caitlin Poole, who's also number 7 at base 1, they could easily get a second out or even third out and actually get those like weak points and actually like punish them for like being greedy and actually get those change of positions and start scoring points on the Tigers. Wouldn't you agree on that, Alex?
Definitely. This is more of this can also be as a concentration game. If they notice those small details, they can definitely improve on that. Get those easy outs that Palmetto would not be expecting, and then Southeast can be on the offense and then can score more points to draw the game.
100%, Alex. I can't agree with you more on that.
Now, Southeast is in a difficult position right now as all three bases are occupied right now, meaning a little slip-up could definitely end up in a point for the Palmetto.
100%.
But I have faith in Southeast that they could definitely get an out right here, or multiple outs.
If they play their cards right. If they can run it, Yep, so that's first out. Is it? Yep, so that is second out, so they prevented.
Here's another run for Palmetto, bringing the score 5-1.
So actually, that was unfortunately another point now for Palmetto, 1-5. So for those of you that are just tuning in, the score is 1-5. Again, Palmetto is 5 and Southeast is 1 point. However, I feel like honestly with Southeast too, I feel like Alex, like you mentioned earlier, this game is all about concentration. I feel like right now, if they paid attention and they communicated and looked at like, oh no, number 18 is already getting ready to run to home run or fourth base and is like already getting out of base, you can strike them out and get the third base, because once they get those 2 other outs that they need, it's all hands on deck, and then we're batting for Southeast.
And that is second strike for Palmetto. Yes, 1 more strike, and that will be an out. Amazing pitching by number 11 for Southeast.
Honestly, a great strike for number 14 too, because honestly, if I were in that position, even I would have batted that ball. And that's a walk, I believe. Nope, just gets a free pitch from here. Yes, she does. All right, so let's see what number 11 is able to do here from the Noles. That's amazing pitching here.
Yes, definitely.
And honestly, I think number 11 has found that sweet spot of actually being able to pitch, not just being able to pitch the ball, but actually throwing the ball just fast enough, but also not too high enough where it's obvious, hey, don't bat. Hold on.
That ended up on the roof.
Hit the roof.
Yes. To be honest, I was a little scared it was going to go over the fence towards us.
And then hit us, but no, luckily we're safe.
Yes, we are. But definitely, mentioning the pitching again, as compared to other games, we don't see those mistakes that end up in the points for the opposing team.
And number 14, and now Palmetto gets 1-6. Again, 1-6.
That is another run for Palmetto, bringing the score 6-1 with Palmetto in favor. And next up at number 5, Kellick Seagrass.
New player for Palmetto about to pitch, number 5. Again, Palmetto still has 3 players on all 3 bases.
So honestly, I feel like because even though Southeast right now is in, like you mentioned, a very difficult situation where one slip up down there in base 3, like she can easily get a point, making the scoreboard 1-7, or making like right there, like right now number 14, she's already halfway down. If number 11 pays attention to those small things and looks at them, like they could literally change the tables and like flip the cards in their favor if they pay attention to that.
Definitely, they can get 2 outs from just that one play, changing the game completely.
Literally, and also from here too, their pitching and their teamwork right now is really, really good. It is almost perfect. If I've even wanted to say that, it is near perfect. So, and honestly, it's not even just a teamwork that is perfect here. It's that right now they just have to pay attention to the smallest and minor details if they want to win this game. Because Palmetto, although Palmetto is a good team, they have flaws that Southeast can easily take advantage of if they have enough game sense within what's happening right now.
Definitely, I can definitely see that. As well, we're seeing really good catching by the catcher herself, catching those difficult balls that the pitcher is throwing at her.
100%, Alex. I can't even agree with you that even more than what I already did previously. Like they're pitching, they found that sweet range of pitching, they found that sweet spot of catching. Now they just need to pay attention to what's happening around the other players. Now the score is 1-7.
And that is another run for Palmetto, bringing the score 7-1, Palmetto in favor. And next at bat, number 4, Dara Damon.
And Palmetto in the same situation, 3 players on each base with a pitcher. Here's where Southeast cannot afford any more of those gimme points, almost you could say, as making those mistakes for a free run for a point.
Exactly. Way to use, Alex, way to use your verbiage on that. Like right now, like there's a lot of like paying attention throughout the first like 2 innings of this game. There's a lot of things right now that's happening that I feel like that can easily be prevented, like paying attention to players like right there on base 3 and base 1. They were already ready to run. So if the pitcher would have simply looked to her left or to her right, she'd have been able to catch that and then throw the ball to Caitlin Poole. Excuse me, or to, from my perspective here, Zoe Howard, and then throw it towards them both, or one of them, and actually, and that's another foul ball.
Over the fence again. Luckily, it was not on our side.
And like I said earlier, too, like, as long as the pitcher has good game sense of what's happening and she pays attention to what is happening, I honestly think that the Southeast Seminoles can really start getting those points that they need to get. Because, like you said, the way they use your verbiage on those gimme points, they can really, really catch that as long as they pay attention to what is happening. Because, like, right now, I'm noticing here that on all 3 of the bases, the people that are on base 1, base 2, and base 3, they all have a tendency to already pre-run to the second base or the next base that they're at because they're already getting ready to go. Like right there, for example, if you look at base 2, she was already almost running before she even threw the ball. If the pitcher would have simply looked behind her or literally at any of the other bases, she would have been able to catch that, and then that would have been an easy out and preventing those gimme points that you said earlier.
Yes, I can definitely see that almost as a game strategy for Palmetto. We see actually all 3 of them on the bases make their runs early, and they usually go a long distance when they do it, which can definitely, Southeast could definitely approach that.
And that is another run for Palmetto, bringing the
Palmetto has now scored
8-1,
another one,
Palmetto
8-1 favoring Palmetto.
With next up at being number 2, Peyton Eccles.
Southeast still on the defense here, looking for, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 or 2 outs left?
Yeah, you're correct. It's 1 out. But currently, right now with Southeast, they still kind of have the technical advantage. It's just that they have to pay attention. Like right here.
This is a play right here.
Like right here. This is highlight of the game. Highlight of the game right here. Look right here. They're getting ready to
almost
like
catch
out
her
her.
and
They're getting ready to out her. Like look at that. If like them paying attention to that right there, that would have been an easy out. And then them catching those inconsistencies with Palmetto, they're going to be able to punish the opposite team and actually get those free points.
That's exactly what we were talking about this whole time. The Southeast can exploit that because they make their runs early and they cover a lot of distance even when the ball isn't hit. Meaning Southeast there could have gotten an out, and I'm sure it won't be the first time that happens.
Exactly, and if they follow that exact strategy of just paying attention to when the players do that, they're going to hard counter, if not completely counter, their entire game strategy and cause like those like inconsistencies to be severely punished and exposed.
As well, that would definitely be almost a turn in strategy for Palmetto. They would either the players on the field, they would be more hesitant maybe to make those runs, maybe leading to less points getting made.
Palmetto in favor. Next at bat, number 27.
27 now batting for Palmetto. Palmetto did score a point.
All right, so then, and then again, too, like they're giving them those.
Another run for Palmetto, bringing the score 10-1. Palmetto in favor.
Honestly, like right now, like they're giving them like those gimme points, and they're just giving them those free points if they just pay attention. And like Alex, like you said earlier, all they're doing is they're just literally pre-running. They're not like they're being a little bit greedy in terms of them getting ready to go to the next base that they're at. And if I seriously think not only to pay attention to that, but also to they do that before they even pitch. If you notice, person at the third base right here, she's already getting ready to run. So if the pitcher pays attention to the third base and just anyone who's on the court right now, she'd have been able to strike them out. And actually, a little key tip here, she could actually like fake pitch and then turn and then roll the ball at like full force, and that could strike them out and give them an easy out for Southeast.
I was exactly thinking the same thing with that, at least with the clips I've seen online with professionals doing it. They definitely have done that, and it definitely works. So I think that if Southeast can collectively plan that out, I would definitely be well done in and out for sure. Palmetto now has the free run. Now number 21 starting up to bat. Palmetto again in the same situation with 3 players on each bat, and it looks like Southeast have called a timeout.
And honestly, here with like what's happening before we go into timeout break real quick, something that I'm seeing here too is that Palmetto is not necessarily like trying to actually hit the ball and get those home runs or go like those highlight battings that you would see in like the Major League Baseball. They're just trying to simply get those free walks, because if they can get those free walks, they can literally get free points because of the pitcher's lack of game sense here. And honestly, from both teams too, and something that I feel like all teams should do is have game sense, because like you said, Alex, softball is not necessarily just about striking them out or getting those free walks. It's about game sense. It's about having that sensibility of knowing, hey, like base 3 is about to run in before the pitcher even pitches the ball, or hey, you know, they're just not even striking the ball, so you should do another way to actually get them to strike out. Like if you pay attention to those small details, because you're going to see the same players over and over again in a short amount of time, so by doing that, you actually not only catch the inconsistencies in players, but as a whole, you actually catch those weaknesses and punish them for it. Wouldn't you agree, Alex?
Definitely 100% agree with that statement. We see, as you mentioned, Palmetto aren't really hitting the ball that much. So if Southeast can fix up their pitching, their catching, fixing up those small mistakes, that would definitely change the game completely. I think we would see even a lower scoring game, and Southeast definitely coming back with now a hit from Palmetto, and that is now a point. Point for Palmetto, 12-1. Now we have Palmetto's. Looks like there's an on-field review occurring right now for first base. she has made first base. Now Palmetto has 2 players on the field, one in third base and one in first base. In this case, I do think that the third base player should be prioritized more than the first base, as it is they avoid the point and they could go back on offense.
And Palmetto successfully steals second.
All right. So currently, right now, guys, right now I feel like with Southeast is doing really good in terms of their game strategy, but also as well, I feel like right now the players are getting a little bit tired. However, their teamwork is doing good.
And that is another run for Palmetto.
They're doing really
Another
good.
run and another out at the same time for Palmetto.
And honestly, with Southeast right now, Southeast is doing, in terms of the game strategy, they've got the batting, they've got the pitching, they have everything right. They just need to pay attention to. But also, right now with Southeast, right now they're getting a little bit not tired, but the pitcher, another disadvantage that Southeast has right now is that they only have like so many players, which can cause like a point gap to be happening. But honestly, I feel like the way that the strategy is happening, I feel like this makes up for it currently. And there is a injury on the play here. However, I think she's good, and she's going to walk to first base for the Palmetto Tigers.
And next at bat, number 14.
Next up to bat for Palmetto would be the number 14. Palmetto currently with 2 players on the field, first and third base again. Foul ball again for the Palmetto Tigers.
All right. So right now, what's happening for those of you guys who are just tuning into, score is currently 1-12. However, 1 being Southeast and 12 being the Palmetto Tigers. However, I honestly think that that number is easily going to change because their counters are very clear because A, that's an out. B, they're able to successfully strike out, and now, like I said earlier, they're now going to be able to change base and actually go now to batting. Don't you agree, Alex?
I think here Southeast can definitely rack up some points against Palmetto. And I also want to praise the catcher. I didn't catch the number, but it was an amazing catch from the Lady Noles. It was a good hit as well, praising Palmetto. Good hit. But again, we see that was one of the first hits also we see from Palmetto today, actually.
Yeah, you're right. That was one of the first hits Palmetto has actually conducted this entire game. So, and the fact that they've hit that shows that they're not able to bat as well as Southeast. Southeast is bold in terms of their game strategy, and as a whole, Palmetto, Palmetto is just in general, they're a good team, no doubt about it. However, they have inconsistencies and they have vulnerabilities, and Southeast is starting to notice that, which is like we said earlier, that's going to benefit Southeast so much because at the end of the day, this game is all about concentration and that team composition. If you cannot pay attention to what the other team is doing, because over time players are going to get tired, people are going to get ready to go home, and people are getting hungry, thirsty, you name it. Like, people are going to see that. And even in the higher levels, like in college softball, and even in like the major like baseball leagues, people take advantage of those vulnerabilities and strike it out and take full advantage of that until that player either gets subbed out for somebody else or they straight up win the game. And by Southeast doing that, I really think that they could really take over against Palmetto and win.
Definitely. I'm excited to see Southeast offense right now, their game plan, and how they manage to score the points and hopefully draw up. You know, it seems like a huge margin, but Southeast has only had the opportunity to bat one time. And
right.
The second time, I think, could definitely change things up. And a beautiful hit again from number 6. Number 5, I'm sorry. This
and
might even
run to second base?
Might even run to third base. No, but an amazing hit from number 5.
And you see what I mean, guys? This is exactly what we talk about when we say Southeast can do this. They can do this because they're taking advantage of the vulnerabilities. Palmetto cannot bat, and clearly they're taking advantage of the pitching too, and they're starting to see that. And despite the fact that Southeast has only batted, this is their second time now, they're clearly making up for that difference, and they're going to change the scoreboards here.
To be honest, that was probably the best hit we've seen in this game. Might even be the best one in the whole game. But Southeast, I think, have more to show. I think that was only a tiny bit of what they can actually do in this match.
Exactly, Alex. And honestly, I feel like with what's happening here, like right now, I feel like a lot of the game itself is all dependent on how many times you're able to bat. And Zoe is going to be able to make it to first base. She's going to be able to make it to second base. Can she make it to second base?
So we're going to get a point from Southeast and second base.
Yep,
amazing
so now
hit, an amazing run. See, that all started from a mistake from Palmetto, and Southeast really punished them for that. And I think that is crucial from him. Honestly, this whole point, Southeast has been punished this game for their mistakes, and I think now it's time for Southeast to do it to Palmetto.
Exactly, and that is why a game is – that's why you always do not give up on a game so easily, because every game is winnable. You just have to pay attention to what vulnerabilities the opponent has. Right there. Ooh. Although a great strike that hit the fence.
A little bit more power, it would have gone straight
straight home run. Would have been out the park, matter of fact, maybe.
You know, I hope I see one of those today.
Hopefully.
From Southeast.
Hopefully.
I think they can. From that hit from the number 5, the last pitcher, I definitely see the power in there.
Can she make it to the second? Oh,
Another
she made
mistake, as we are saying.
They're going to get second and third base.
These mistakes, Southeast definitely punishing for them. This is going to be crucial for Southeast during the whole match. You know, this also frustrates Palmetto, and this could even lead to even more mistakes that would definitely rack up the points for Southeast.
And Alex, something I actually just noticed here that I'm really eager to add on, number 11 adapted to the pitching style of Palmetto, because the way that they pitched, like we mentioned earlier, they always pitch near the ground, so it's all really hard to strike. I noticed that number 11 bent her bat down to the point where like the ball was going to come in perfectly intact with the tip of the bat and hit it from down up and then hit like all the way back out there, and then they got those two other players to second and third base. So the fact that they're clearly seeing these vulnerabilities, the fact that they're punishing, matter of fact, I'll say it again, they're punishing Palmetto's offense and defense. Southeast is really going to turn the tables back really fast if they play like this.
Definitely. I can definitely see a switch up in the points right now. another amazing
Southeast
hit.
is
This is going to be a point for Southeast. 2 points, 2 points for Southeast. Amazing hit. Southeast is on fire right now.
Next at batting, number 8, Kaylin Meadows.
Number 13 now getting ready to bat.
Number 4, Alemi Familia Lenart.
And honestly here too, like Southeast is already getting that pressure back on against the Palmetto Tigers, and by them adding on that consistent pressure, honest to God, I think that Southeast can really come back against not only Palmetto despite the low score, but like I said earlier, they have that early game pressure and they're applying this against Palmetto, and they're getting those gimme points towards them playing in their favor. And I really think because we're only in the second inning right now, like half a second inning, Southeast is going to get a lot of points and really play up against Palmetto really well and put up their money for their buck.
You're ahead, Maker. Come to you.
And that's a hit. However, that is an out.
And that is an out for Southeast. However, we do make it to third base with next at batting.
And
number 8,
first out for Southeast, but we did manage to get one of our players on the third base. I could definitely see the scoring.
I can definitely see, from my standpoint here at third base, I can definitely see Southeast getting another score as long as Kaylee bats the ball and hits it far enough to where she can run to third base.
Get William. Get William.
And also here, I like to point something out. The distance between one batting area, like not one batting area, but one base to another is about 60 feet in the varsity level of softball. So I really think if they can take advantage of that, like right now, she just has to run it. And even though they run it, now they get another point. They get another point, and they're adding on that early pressure. And honestly, by them just adding on this pressure, like I said earlier, they're just going to come back so fast. Palmetto won't even be able to react to it if they keep this up. Wouldn't you agree, Alex?
I completely agree. You could see this happening so fast for Palmetto. They don't know how to react. They don't know how to strategize to handle Southeast. So I definitely think here's with Southeast can tie things up, maybe even switch the scoreboard.
Honestly, and now that Southeast has actually seen how Palmetto plays, they understand that Palmetto doesn't have a second backup plan in case, oh no, they found out that we overextend a little bit and we get a little bit greedy when it comes to running over to the bases. So Southeast is going to take advantage of those vulnerabilities and punish them, and clearly it's showing because of that. Apparently that is a foul ball. However, that was incredible batting by Kaylin Poole. If she would have struck in the ball a little bit harder, I honestly think that would have been a really good batting, and that would have allowed Kaylee and her to go to at least one base, guaranteed.
Definitely.
And even then, like, I'm noticing here, like, that Southeast is getting that batting. They're hitting the ball so consistent right now. Like, if they keep this up and like aim the bat and adjust to how the ball's direction is going, I think they can actually hit the ball and get those consistent points how they were just last 5 minutes ago.
And next at bat, number 17, Brianna Douglas.
New batter now for Southeast. Here's where things could definitely change again.
And that's a good batting. And Kaylee successfully makes it to second base.
That was now the third out. I think Southeast, even though they couldn't draw it up, they had an amazing inning. And I think things could definitely go up from here. If Southeast can fix up the mistakes on defense, they could definitely lead.
So currently, for those of you guys that are just tuning on in, currently the score is 13-5. Again, 13-5. Considering that Southeast got 4 points from that one batting, I honestly feel like now that Southeast has played the game long enough, now that we're in the third inning, I think that Southeast is going to be able to take advantage because they've already seen, for one, they've seen all the players from Palmetto's side. 2, they've seen all the vulnerabilities and weaknesses from Palmetto's side, but also 2, both teams have seen how they both play on the court. So because of that, they're able to take advantage of these issues, and clearly Southeast now sees the issue and counters it. The only thing is, can the pitcher pay attention to the players coming into first, second, and third base when they're overextending, and can the team work together to tag these people out and get those gimme points back towards Southeast, or are they going to miss that and solely tunnel vision only what's in front of them and not be aware spatially of what's on their left, their right, and behind them?
Yeah, I can definitely see that point of view. I think Southeast here can definitely change it up. You know, it's just fixing up the mistakes and, you know, getting the points up, racking some points up, not letting Palmetto score.
And first at bat, number 5, Taylor Cougars.
All right, now we're back from the little break after the ending of the second inning. Currently, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, the scoreboard is currently 13-5, Southeast being the number 5 and Palmetto being 13. However, even though the score is starting to grow, I feel like Southeast is really going to be able to have a home advantage here. And also, I think that Southeast is going to be able to strategically get that upper hand, because not only were they able to gather 4 points and actually hard counter a lot of Palmetto's strategies, I honestly think that, like, right now, Southeast is in a good position. They just have to pay attention, like we said earlier, pay attention to the overextending players from Palmetto whenever they're on first, second, or third base, and strike them out and play together as a team. Wait, what was that, Gio? And that's a successful out.
Successful hit by, oh, that's an out, My apologies. First out for Southeast, starting off strong in my opinion, already with an out. This could definitely, you know, helps the game, helps the end game, but also helps, it's a mental game also, you have to think about it. And this is definitely helping the mental game for Southeast and hurting the mental game for Palmetto.
Exactly, Alex. I can't even, words cannot express how much of agreement I am with you right now. But literally right now with Southeast is literally on fire in terms of their batting. They're consistent, they're hitting the ball, and their pitching's defense is significantly better compared to the other games that they've played. And overall, right now, they're working together. It is clear they've reflected on the games that they've played, and they've improved upon that, and this game result is clearly showing. Even though they may not necessarily be winning, the matter of the fact that they're able to actually counter and adapt to Palmetto mid-game and during the pitching and the batting, that clearly speaks for itself on multiple levels. Don't you agree, Alex?
Yes, Southeast is definitely getting better after each game. And they're definitely looking way better than in the beginning of the season. I think this could even be a turnaround in their season, starting to get almost maybe a winning streak almost.
Exactly. All right, so now number 4 from the Tigers gets to walk to first base. All right, and especially now that number 4 gets to walk to first base, again, this would be, even though it's the pitcher's first year on the team and her arm is starting to get exhausted, I really think this can make great exercise to actually pay attention to what's happening, because she's not in as a difficult situation as she was in the first part of the second inning. But also, if you look like at first base and pay attention while I'm talking, like she's going to start overextending. Right now, she's getting ready to run over there. If she pays attention and fake pitches and immediately turns, she can strike her out immediately and then get that second out that they need and get closer and closer to that change of position, allowing them to gather points and even flip the tables, like you said, Alex.
100%. Southeast looked really strong on that offense. They're looking strong on this defense as well. A hit by Palmetto, and that's the second out. 2 outs already, significantly improving on their defense as well.
And exactly, like right now, Southeast is doing extremely good. They're paying attention now. They're starting to get a grasp of their game sense. And just right now, as a team composition, they're paying attention. They're aware of Palmetto's vulnerabilities and realizing the fact that they're not invincible. Even though they are a strong team, they can be beaten. So, and they're clearly taking advantage of that, and they're stopping points. And all it takes right now is 1 more out. It takes 1 more out. That means Palmetto has to run with perfect pitching, perfect batting, and just overall perfect plays. And all it takes is one thing, and then it's over.
Yes, Palmetto needs to be more careful now that they're in 2 outs. No player yet on the third base, which is excellent for Southeast. A little mistake again. And now Palmetto has 2 players on the field, 1 on the third and 1 on second.
And honestly, here right now, I think if the pitcher looks to her right, because like right now, if you look at third base, she's already getting ready to run. If she looks at the third base, look right there. At third base, she's already getting ready to run. Matter of fact, she was already almost running before she even threw the ball. So if she literally looks to third base and just throws the ball with full force and shock, she can get that third out that they need. And again, it takes 1 out. 1 out is all it takes. And it's not necessarily over, but it's change of position time.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's more of a pitcher and the third base lady who have to be in communication with each other. They have to see that without making it obvious that they see it.
Exactly, because like we said, 1 more out and it's batting time. And I'll say it again, one more out, and it's batting time for Southeast. So if they pull it off and if they pay attention, and like right now, even though the pitcher is in a bit of a difficult situation, if she can pay attention to the third base, and again, look at her, she's already getting ready to run. If she looks right now to her right, she can strike her out and then get that third out that they need, or to her right, left, and from behind in the second base, she can strike them out, or at least one of them, and it's over.
Yes, I definitely see that from the second and third base. They're both really running, and I think that's where Southeast can catch them off guard and get that out so they can start on the offense again.
Exactly, and honestly, like right now, and even as we're pointing it out, they still do it. And if you even look at third base, and not even just third base, second base, she's already getting ready to run, and she hasn't even prepared herself to throw the ball. And the matter of the fact is that if they keep not necessarily giving those free walks on them, but if they physically look to their left, to their right, and again, if they look to their left, to their right, or even at any point to their bases, they can get that 1 out that they need, because at this point, Palmetto has to have a perfect run for all their runs if they want to keep scoring points.
Another point for Palmetto was scored. 3 players on the field again, but all it needs is 1 out. Prioritizing the third base player to avoid a point.
And look, again, at base 3, she was practically tippy-toeing all the way to home base. because of the little throw that number 11 mispitched. But even then, all they have to do is physically look. She just has to look at any of the bases, and she can catch them off guard. Because at this point, not only is anything going to help here on Southeast's end, but there's many vulnerabilities that we are seeing from the press box's perspective. Even though the pitcher may not necessarily seeing it, the other players are also starting to notice that on the field here too.
And we are now at a full count with 2 outs and loaded bases. Let's see what'll happen.
You know, I am convinced that the pitcher can strike out.
And that is another run for Palmetto.
Another
With
point
next
for
at bat
Palmetto.
number 28 for Nari Cruz.
All right, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen here because I believe they changed. No, they did not. It looked like they changed pitchers for a second, but I think the team here is actually starting to notice that as we continuously point out that Palmetto is going to have like those inconsistencies. So as long as Palmetto not straight up, but as long as Southeast straight up looks at any of the bases, and matter of fact, if the players say to the pitcher, player, they can strike them out and get that third out that they need. Because again, all they need is 1 out. And right now, Palmetto is getting away with a lot of greedy things that even like the top players would take advantage of completely.
Yeah.
Excellent job from the pitcher, avoiding those costly mistakes that be costing Southeast. Unfortunately, Palmetto has scored another one.
And here's the issue with this, because right now the problem is like what's happening here is that the pitcher, because again, Southeast only has so many players that are not necessarily willing to play, but there's only so many people that can play pitcher like number 11 does and has a similar size of skill level. It's hard to just simply say, oh, let's go ahead and give ourselves another pitcher when there's really only 1 or 2 pitchers and one of the pitchers is not at the game, and the pitcher has to keep going through the same thing over and over again. And obviously, as you continue to go through like these innings and as you get towards the end of the game, all players are going to get tired, and that might cause like the pitcher's arm to get a little bit more exhausted, and just stuff like this as well, like is what may cause Southeast to fumble a little bit. And if honestly too, if Southeast doesn't come up with a little game strategy here to potentially help out the pitcher, or in better case teamwork, that's going to lead to them to their ultimate demise, them losing the game.
Yes, as we can see, most of the Palmetto points have been from those mistakes. They haven't really hit the ball. I cannot recall the last time they hit the ball. Again, same mistake right now, at least to another point, unfortunately.
And again, there's at least 3 different things that me and Alex can call out from the press box's perspective that they're making these mistakes on. Like for example, right now, if you pay attention to how the batter is going to play, there's a good chance she's not going to hit this ball at all and just not do anything. Palmetto doesn't hit the ball at all, and they get a little greedy and overextend from the bases. If the pitcher, number 11, notices one of any of these mistakes necessarily, they can get that 1 out. Because again, Palmetto has to run physically perfect runs, perfect plays if they want to keep scoring points, and Southeast has to put up that same bar and punish Palmetto for the weaknesses that Palmetto is currently doing, like for example, not batting or overextending on the base and already pre-running before the pitcher throws the ball to the batter. If that makes sense, Alex.
Yes,
wouldn't you agree on that?
Yeah, 100%. Good analysis, honestly. I couldn't catch that by myself, but yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And next at bat, number
New
5.
batter now for Palmetto, number 5.
All right. All right, so then, again, Palmetto could have, that was a ball that she could have easily striked right there. Number 5 from Palmetto could have 100%, if not a doubt, batted that ball and hit that ball to like home run, if not far, but she's not choosing to do that. And Southeast can punish that, and they haven't hit. And from our circumstances, from based off of our countings, they've only hit one ball this entire game from the moment we started broadcasting here on Southeast Television to current time right now, which is 7:11.
Yeah, they have not hit the ball that much, and they are punishing Southeast though. This is something for Southeast that they do have to consider and significantly have to improve on this. We see the run again, a free run.
And honestly, too,
mistakes.
Yeah, and Alex, and I like to add on this too, Alex. Southeast doesn't even have to necessarily punish Southeast, not Southeast, but Palmetto because of their batting. Because as long as Palmetto does not bat anything at all, they physically can't get punished for it. And they're just going to get, the game is going to force them to walk on first base here. However, I think the part where Southeast can actually punish Palmetto is when they're overextending. Like right now, like as they're about getting ready in position, at bases 1 and bases 2, they're already getting ready to run. And right now at base 2, she was already running before she even threw the ball from number 11 from the Lady Knolls. So by the Lady Knolls, and again, we have to take this into the perspective of the players' lenses, but I think even the players are starting to see this, and they have to address this. Otherwise, it's going to get either significantly harder to win the game, if not lose this whole thing by just addressing one simple thing.
Yes, I completely agree. It's just one thing they have to fix, and it could change the game completely.
Exactly.
Strike.
And even then, right there, the moment when Palmetto strikes the ball, they get a strike. Their batting is not as good as Southeast's, and also they know that, and they're just going to just stand idle and just hold the bat and just not do anything. And matter of fact, maybe even lean in a little bit if the ball is close to hitting them. Like that right there.
Is safe, unfortunately. Another point for Southeast.
And honestly here too, with Southeast as well, if Southeast wants to win this game and stop Palmetto from getting those runs in, they have to address these vulnerabilities that they are. And they're not hard vulnerabilities necessarily addressed, because this is their entire game composition. They're going to go in, hold the bat idle, not do anything, and then let them walk to first base, and then pre-run on bases 1, 2, and 3, and then hope, and pay attention to the word I say, hope that the pitcher doesn't notice this. And I feel like because now we're in like the third ending inning, I think the players are also starting to notice that, and everyone else, not even in the audience, the people that are just watching here at Southeast, but people in the court as well, and the other players, we're all starting to notice this as well, and they need to really address this if they want to win the game. And even then here too, like I said earlier, they can't necessarily stop Palmetto from not hitting the ball. That's for one, that's impossible.
Correct.
But two, that doesn't change anything. But what they can punish is in bases 1 and bases 3, they could easily punish them for overextending by the pitcher just looking at a sharp, sudden angle and then just throwing the ball directly at the base 3 and base 1 players, and then having them strike them out easily. And if not, put the other players that are on bases 1 and bases 3 in a difficult position and guarantee an out.
Oh, and that's another point for Palmetto.
Steals home yet again with next at that being number 2, Pink Knuckles.
Again, Southeast only needs one more out. That's all they need, so they can go back on the offense, where I think they will shine.
Exactly. And honestly, right now, Southeast, the only issue that's happening with Southeast right now is that Palmetto is not hitting the ball. They do not know how to, I'm not saying they do not know how to bat, but they're choosing not to bat at all, and they're just choosing to get those free points. And Southeast, again, And again, like I was saying, folks, and I apologize for the little technical difficulties here, Southeast has to address these vulnerabilities and punish them for this, because Palmetto is going to most likely do the same thing to future games, and if they get punished for it, they're going to think, well, then we need to change our game strategy. Southeast needs to do this because from how Palmetto is playing here, that is their only game strategy they have. And from what it looks like here, they do not have a backup play. They do not have a emergency plan in case of, oh no, they found out our big secret scheme here, our madness to our rhyme. We need to change it up. They only rely on pre-running. And again, look, if you look at base 3 here, she was already like 10 feet towards the home run plate. And the fact that she was even that far, I think even most people that are new to softball would notice that. So I feel like they have to look at this, address this, and say no and punish Palmetto in order for them to win. And me and Alex cannot express the urgency to do this. And look at all 3 bases here. They all severely jumped 10 feet closer to the base. And mind you, there's only a 60-foot distance from each different base.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's the same thing over and over again. And I don't know if the Southeast is capturing that itself, but we can definitely see it from our point of view. Those anticipated runs that they make, it works well, but if Southeast can find a way to stop that, it would definitely change up the whole game and prevent more runs.
Honestly, here, and it's not even just like a player issue. Because considering that the players here in Southeast and Palmetto, they're both starting to get exhausted. If the team is all willing to compromise and work with each other and say, hey, wait a minute, Palmetto is overextending a little bit. We can strike them out for that. That can get us the one out that we need and then start getting points. Why aren't we doing that? If they notice that and as a team make a physical effort to go in and again, I'll say it again, if they make a physical effort to work with one another and actually notice these vulnerabilities. And if you see at base 3 here, she's already pre-running and she hasn't even caught the ball in her hands. If she, and when I mean she, I mean number 11 here, if she and the whole team from Southeast works together and tries to compromise the fact that they're being greedy in terms of their basing and try to strike them out by just simply tapping them, the team can not only work together, but actually being able to put aside the tiredness and weaknesses and work together and turn that into a strength, matter of fact.
Palmetto have scored another one with a new pitcher now. Looks like a timeout. I'm not completely sure.
And that concludes the top of the 3rd inning, meaning a break and play. A beautiful time where everyone goes back to the dugout and listens to me read off sponsors, particularly Top Chevrolet and the Shaw Elementary. Thank you for sponsoring our team.
It's the bottom of the 3rd.
So they don't call it for the 4th. I think at the end of the inning, we get that back and catch up to the 3rd. So we get one more. If we don't catch up.
And that is a foul ball.
Oh, good cut, good cut. Get it back in. Let's go, 5.
And next up at number 5, Alicia Martinez.
Oh, good cut. Ooh. All right, Blue. Straighten that out, straighten it out.
Southeast is now on the offense. Already with 1 out. I still believe those Southeast can definitely get some runs. And I think they can definitely shine in this offense.
Honestly, Alex, I can severely agree with you on this fact because this is only the 3rd time that that Southeast is actually going to be batting here successfully. So the fact that Southeast only had twice the bat and they got a total of 5 points, I honestly feel like that they can change that number and actually change the favor here. And unfortunately, though, that was a foul ball.
Foul ball.
And honestly, too, Alex, actually, go ahead what you're saying.
I was just going to say that I still think that number 5 can definitely pull something off. She was the one who hit a beautiful hit, almost going towards the fence. So I would not be doubting her. I think she can definitely pull something out of it.
Honestly, Alex, I can agree with you. And what I was going to say, too, if I may add on here, is that honestly, right now, the team for Southeast is like they're tired. You know, like it's getting towards the end of the game. Mosquitoes are coming out. Sun is setting. It's a Thursday night. Spring break's about to happen. Everyone's minds around like, what am I going to do all week? Then I'm out. And just in general right now, there's a million things that are going through the player's mind. And like you said, too, this game is all about just straight up mentality, and it's all about willpower. Even though you may, like, for example, you may be the best pitcher in the world, and you may be able to hit balls back to back to back to back and be essentially the LeBron James of this sport. But if you do not have, like, that mental will, and even though that may seem funny, if you do not have, like, that mental will capacity and that willpower of just being able to be like, all right, time to bat, let's go, you're not going to win any games for it. And at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to, did I mentally stick this through? And was I able to hit balls even though I was tired? Yes or no? And those type of players are the real champions that come out of this game.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's so many factors that go into this game, and especially right now, Southeast definitely has to play that mental game. They have to stay focused, get those runs in, and almost ignore the score. It just keeps getting runs and runs and runs.
And unfortunately, almost hit one of our producers there, but however, no one got hurt. But honestly, too, like the problem with what's happening here is that they're batting. They've got the batting skills, is that they are not hitting the ball in the places where it needs to be. They're hitting the ball, they found that sweet spot, now they need to adjust it. Like, for example, when they're hitting, they should be swinging the bat and releasing it like that, right there, for example. However, unfortunately,
that is the second out for Southeast.
Zoe Henderson.
New batter now for Southeast, number 10. I still have faith in Southeast. I think they can definitely pull something out.
Honestly, here, I feel like Southeast can actually pull something off here, too.
Number 10 preparing to bat now.
Good job, Zoe. There you go. That's what it looks like. Good eye, good eye.
2 strikes now apparently for Southeast.
It's a production 8+. I mean, hey, at least it should. Yeah, at least we're doing good. I mean, then I'd be mad if our camera just goes right here. Commentators, microphones, you know. All right, so currently what's happening here, Zoe Henson is getting ready to bat. Unfortunately, it almost hits her, and that's an out.
3rd out now for Southeast.
I think, is that the end? Yep, another, and Seminoles lose another one, unfortunately. Wait, is that the end? Ooh, and the Noles, unfortunately, and the Noles lose another one, unfortunately. Honestly, Southeast did really good here. They had significant improvements here. I'm your host, Xavier Asensio.
I'm Alex Aguilar.
If you guys enjoy these videos, if you guys enjoy these commentaries, please remember to like and subscribe. Not only helps out the Southeast broadcast as well, but you're also helping out people that dedicate their time here. Thank you guys so much, and have a great spring break. God bless, and see you guys in the next one. See ya.
Thank you.
Now